President Biden has announced a budget blueprint, everybody. Now he's calling for higher tax on the wealthy and also lower federal deficits. But the president, everybody, also said this. He wants greater funding for education, public health, and housing. Now, appearing at the White House with his budget director, Biden said the proposals sends a clear message to the public about what Americans value. He also outlined a focus on fiscal responsibility, safety, and security investments to build a better America. Now, I know many of you are wondering about how the budget plan will help the people. Well, right now, President Biden is proposing a total of $5.8 trillion in federal spending. That amount is slightly less than what was projected to be spent this year, before the supplemental spending bill was signed into law earlier this month. Now, this deficit will be $1.15 trillion, and there will be $795 billion for defense, $915 billion for domestic programs, and the remaining balance will go to mandatory spending. Now, Biden has also outlined higher taxes that would raise $361 billion in revenue over 10 years and apply to the top earning households. The proposal lists another $1.4 trillion in revenue raised over the next decade through other tax increases, which are meant to preserve Biden's pledge to not hike taxes on people earning less than $400,000. But folks, the proposal includes a minimum 20% tax on incomes of households worth $100 million or more. This is similar to an earlier proposal that Democrats in Congress debated on. Biden's budget proposal has faced immediate criticism from Republican lawmakers. They noted that deficits well in excess of $1 trillion annually would actually persist and said higher taxes could hurt growth.
Tesla releasing its first quarter delivery numbers. Phil LeBeau joins us with that. But of course, Phil, have to ask you first about what you think with Elon Musk taking a 9.2% passive stake in Twitter. That kind of came out of nowhere.
Gives you a little something to talk about on a Monday morning. Look, I agree primarily with what Dan Ives had to say. I do not believe this is the end of Elon Musk's involvement in Twitter. It may be a passive stake, but I think this is just the beginning. And I think we've seen this from Elon Musk before, and we're not surprised that he is taking this stake, given what he has said about potentially starting his own social media platform. So I will be curious to see how this shakes out over the weeks and months to come. That happening on the day when a lot of people were going to say, let's talk about deliveries for the first quarter for Tesla. They came out on Saturday, and yes, they were a little shy of expectations. The company delivering just over 310,000 vehicles. 95% were Model 3s and Model Ys. That was expected. Why has Wall Street's reaction generally been pretty positive, despite the fact that this was a little short of expectations?
Yes, everybody, Congress is beginning negotiations on automatic stimulus checks for everyone in the country that is in need of more stimulus payments. This stimulus check will be sent out this year to many eligible Americans, and in this video, I'll be telling you exactly when the payment dates are going to happen. Now remember, the whole goal of this channel, everybody, is to provide you with the most up-to-date and reliable stimulus check news. I always want to do my very best in providing you with the most up-to-date and reliable stimulus check information. So it really means a lot to me if you could subscribe to my channel. Next month in February, federal lawmakers are discussing automatic stimulus payments. That's next month, everybody, in February. State governments are already beginning to implement the concept, and some residents can expect to receive a check this week of January 9th and 10th. So this is really awesome. We are finally seeing some lawmakers take real action for the American people. The crisis, like I said in my previous videos, is only getting worse, especially over these past few months. So it is completely necessary that more relief money goes to as many people as possible. Now, automatic stabilizers actually seek to send funds directly to Americans when certain economic conditions are met. That's without needing approval by local legislators or the lawmakers in Congress. Now, Adam Rubin, director of the Economic Security Project, has already begun discussions on the idea of these automatic stimulus checks with members of Congress, everybody. The good part about putting in place these kind of programs is that it would definitely smooth out the United States economy, as well as its recovery. It would make sure, everybody, that no one is left at the mercy of Washington gridlock in future recession. We all know that Democrats and Republicans do take quite a while to actually come up to an agreement on any bill. So with automatic stabilizers, checks would go out all through the crisis without the need of another negotiation among lawmakers in Congress. And there are other programs as well that are currently being debated on. These programs provide eligible Americans with guaranteed monthly stimulus checks. There's actually, folks, a large amount of states and cities that have agreed to implement universal basic income programs, and that's really great. One city, for example, is in New Jersey, in the city of New York. The city has recently expanded its universal basic income program to more residents. That means stimulus checks in the state of New Jersey are being approved. It has already been approved for a total of $12,000. That's to each resident through the program over the next 2 years. I strongly support providing Americans with more stimulus money right now, everybody. Now, the concept of a universal basic income has inspired widespread interest in recent years. Former presidential candidate Andrew Yang announced that a universal basic income program of $1,000 to citizens every month will be the keystone policy of his platform. It has actually been reported that a large amount of Americans actually do support universal basic income programs. Guaranteed income programs have also been gaining even more traction during this crisis, which took a huge toll on low-wage workers and threw millions of Americans into poverty. Now it's really great to know. Now it's very good to know that at least 11 direct cash universal basic income programs have gone into effect. In the city of Stockton, California, some residents are receiving stimulus checks of $1,000 per month. This basic income program, everybody, launched in 2019 and has been considered the model for other cities to follow this state stimulus check and city stimulus check payment schedule. So if you guys believe that it's a good idea for President Biden to do something about this and send out more stimulus payments, then tell me in the comments down below.
Literate for a lot of years. When I was Attorney General, I would just shake my head when I would see the kinds of scams people would fall for. And so I thought, well, we could educate elderly people, seniors, not to, buy into the Nigerian scam, or we could start at the beginning and actually build a whole class of people who understood, if it's too good to be true, it probably isn't true. How do you buy insurance? How do you buy, how do you file your tax returns without spending $500 to do it? And there really was not an appetite within the education system to actually build out that kind of classwork. And as a result, we continue to fall further behind. As we look at inflation and as we look at things that challenge family budgets, one of the ways that we can, in fact, help families do better financially is have them make better decisions in terms of how they spend their money, understand cost value of money. One of the things that I just press all the time, if you're in high school, start saving now. Einstein once said the greatest invention of the 20th century was compound interest, because eventually that early money grows into better money and retirement security is going to be critical.